Coming up next, a classic rock interview. Remembering Eddie Van Halen.
Good morning, the island.
Hello, it's your brother.
My brother, the other. Hey, I'm glad you called. I wanted to ask you, I'm looking at your collection of Eddie Van Halen pictures from back in the 1980s. What was
we were young.
What was the deal with that? Did you have to sneak the camera in, or back in the day? I don't remember if you were able to do that.
Oh yeah, that and it wasn't even my camera. You know, I was what was I, 17? I think I was 16 or 17. So it was Dad's camera. It was a Pentax K1000 film camera, and photography was not allowed. I mean, this is pre-cell phone camera. If you brought a camera in, the rumor is they would smash it on you, smash it on the ground, and maybe arrest you. That's what everybody said. So anyway, you had to sneak it in. So I would take the lens off of the camera body. I would put the camera under one arm with a camera strap, and I would put the lens in a bag under the other arm, and then I would sort of put a flannel shirt over it, but open, because they searched you on the way in. So when I went in and they went to search me, I kind of opened my shirt, but my hands were up, my elbows down, so it kind of hid the camera. They frisk you real fast, but they don't touch you too much. And then next thing you know, I was in. So I waited until I was in the dark, and the first band was playing. Then I could sort of assemble the camera like a sniper. So that was that story. And then, you know, as you recall, you and I would sort of sneak up in between songs when the lights were out. You had maybe 5 seconds to sneak up past the guard and get closer. And we just kept doing that till we were right up front.
It's pretty wild. Those are great days. Those are great pictures. I posted them on the Islands page. If you hashtag the Island Social Zone, brought to you by Obermiller Seamless, you'll see these pictures of Eddie Van Halen in his prime. That was, if I'm not mistaken, some of the pictures were mid-'80s, but some of them were on Van Halen too. Like, they put out a debut album, toured the world, and then were huge, released their second album, and I think that's what some of those pictures are.
Oh, I think it's actually women and children first, because remember, I'm 3 years older than you, so I went to my first concert without you because you were too little. And it was my first concert was Van Halen, I believe in 1979 or 1980. Then you and I think, went to Ted Nugent and some other shows, and then finally Van Halen came back. I believe that to be 81 or 82, so I think it was women and children first. And boy, what a show. I mean, they were definitely on the skyrocket up, you know.
They were on fire. They seemed to come out of nowhere, and they changed music from the second that first album came out. Primarily Eddie Van Halen. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. Remember, because we grew up in a musical household. We grew up musicians. That first Van Halen album, we were all gathered around saying, "What is he doing? We haven't heard." We haven't heard guitar playing like that before. And one music critic said the timing of Van Halen was perfect because the late 70s and the early 80s, especially the late 70s, started to get really serious. Music was too serious for itself. And here comes Van Halen. Like, talk about a sunshiny California party. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, somebody else up here, another DJ up here, said that Van Halen came just in time hit-wise, because all the hits were like AM radio hits. They were like, Andy Gibb had, you know, love is higher than a mountain, bigger than water, and, you know, all these happy love songs. Good song. I'm not saying it's not a good song. I just sang it, man. I could sing that in the shower. But then Van Halen pops in and redoes the Kinks, You Really Got Me. And I guess all guitar players would listen to Eruption and go, how does he do that? Like, how does he play so fast? And like, you had to go see him and see that he was using both hands in some cases, you know.
I can't even believe it. I know a lot of people share this feeling, but I look at his picture and his smile and watching the videos and listening to the music, and it's hard to believe he came, exploded on the scene, had a great career, and it's all over now. It's just hard to comprehend.
I think the life part is over. Like I was debating, his life is over, but his music career is indelible. You know what I mean? Like Hendrix. Hendrix died very young. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin. We still listen to that music. So his music career, hopefully will live on indefinitely even after us. But it does blow my mind that we were young and taking pictures of this young band, and now we're old men. Like, it's hard to get up in the morning. And Eddie, he died of tongue cancer. Like, really? Like, how did this all come about? You know, I don't know.
He had it rough recently. He had a hip replacement. He had a number of cancer-related issues. I think it was this year that they cut 3/4 of his tongue out. So he was struggling,
Okay.
but it was also recently that he was deemed cancer-free, I thought. So I don't know. I'm hearing.
Yeah, I thought he beat it too.
I'm hearing.
I mean, similar. Didn't I think Iron Maiden singer had a similar thing, and I think he beat it. But that guy's incredible. I watched some documentary. You know, Iron Maiden, what a show! He sings at full tilt the whole show. But on his off days, he rollerblades all around town singing his songs to stay in shape. It's like, really? That's exhausting. Can't we go to the diner?
Is that Bruce Dickinson?
Yeah.
A lot of famous musicians are famous for a reason because they have major dedication. I think he put himself through school. He became a pilot. Now he flies their jet when they're on tour. You know, I know.
Yeah, actually, they made a movie about that.
Did they?
I think it's called Flight 666. You know, for kids.
Getting back to Van Halen, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar for you?
Oh, to me, it's always Dave. I mean, see, here's the thing. Van Halen's great with Sammy Hagar. Sammy's a great singer. I saw Sammy before he was in Van Halen. Remember when he was the Red Rocker? I think we saw him with ZZ Top. I forget. But Dave is the party front man who worked that crowd. Sammy is the guitar player with the microphone headset. That's a very different dynamic. I didn't like that in Van Halen. I like a guy to run out with the mic and sing and throw the mic around and toss the stand and pose with it and hang scarves on it. And Sammy is playing guitar and singing, so it's totally different.
Yeah, it was a circus. Music-wise, I can't, and I'll never pick one or the other because you listen to Van Halen 1, 2, and Women and Children First, and you're blown away. And then you hear some of these Top of the World and When Love Walks In by Sammy, and you're like,
that riff.
Come on.
You know what? We talked about Van Halen in the last few days privately. Nobody mentions, and you and I even forget, do you remember that song, Finish What You Started? That is such a different guitar sound for Eddie. You could tell he abandoned the pick, and he's just pulling those notes and chords out of the guitar, and it's such a cool sound. Nobody plays that song for some reason. Yeah, I mean, and not only is the guitar awesome, but then Sammy's going, that is right! Like he's doing his Chris Cornell, you know, before Chris Cornell even existed, probably.
Hey, I want to thank you for sharing your photos with us and letting me share it on the Island's Facebook page. There's some great pictures, man. It's a nice memory of...
Oh, awesome. I wish there were more. I mean, those were the film days. You snuck in with maybe 24 exposures. You had 24 chances to take a shot, not knowing what they would look like for a week. You had to send them off to get developed. Nowadays, if I could have got my digital camera in like I have now, there'd be a million of those shots. It's different time, you know.
Well, yeah.
We can get it done then.
When you had to pay for film, you were limited.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to run. We got, due to time constraints, if you could hang on the line, we could talk more.
Okay.
Yeah, talking with my brother Mike, he's a collection of Van Halen pictures that were taken illegally. I don't know. You snuck. What gave you the balls to sneak a camera in when they were frisking you back in the 80s? Like,
I was scared, I'll be honest.
You know that famous, that famous photographer Neil Lowe, whatever his name is. He took all the pictures in Rolling Stone magazine and all that. You were not aware of him at the time, right? So it's not like you wanted to be.
No, but you know what was funny? I had a photography course in middle school, and it wasn't. I mean, they just showed you how to use a camera, and then the teacher would develop the pictures, and we'd all share them. No big deal. But I remember reading in a book about photography. It said, if you want to be a photographer, take pictures. And it was that one sentence because most people back then, nobody had phones with cameras back then in 1970. So most people would be like, hey, should I bring my camera? No. And everybody would say no, because it's a pain in the ass. If you bring a camera, you got to have a camera with you, and you look like a tourist, and, you didn't want that. And then nobody wanted to be in the picture. Everybody put their hand up so you couldn't be in the picture. But that sentence changed me. Like, if you want to be a photographer, take pictures. So I said to my dad, I tried the first Van Halen show. I tried with my Kodak Instamatic, whatever. Photos were horrible. There's not enough light. But he said, yeah, try it. So I went in and tried it, and I was very happy, with the results. But every magazine you open, Cream magazine, Rolling Stone magazine, every album, if the album had a sleeve of photos inside, it would say photography by Niels Lozauer. And I saw that name over again. All the major bands used him. So you can go on YouTube now. He's in a documentary called In Your Face, the Niels Lozauer story. And it's spelled Z-L-O, like that. So he did what I did, but on the West Coast, and then he lived near the record company. So he would bring his photos in there, and they went, wow, look at these shots. We want you to go photograph this new band we got. And he was photographing Zeppelin, Van Halen, went on the road with Van Halen. He was Van Halen's photographer. He has Eddie in the air, David Lee Roth in the air. Amazing.
Why did he become famous and you're just my brother?
I think because I'm on the East Coast. Here, it doesn't matter how good you are or something. You still got to go work at wherever, Walmart or...
How much easier would it have been if you didn't have to deal with film? I mean, we had no idea film and flash cubes were going away, but how much easier would that have been? You could have taken millions of shots for cheaper.
Well, back then, yeah, I mean... Every photograph was a struggle back then. Here, I spent my night focusing because, like nowadays, when you take a picture with a good camera, you press the shutter halfway down and you hear it kind of go, and it focuses and then it goes beep when it's in focus. That happens in a millisecond now. Then you press the rest of the way down and it takes the picture. So now that's what I do. In fact, now, and I have my camera set, once I'm holding that down, it'll take multiple. So if I'm photographing David Lee Roth now, I go halfway down, it focuses, and when he makes the faces I want, I hold it down, and I'll take 3 in a row. So even if he blinks in one, I could delete that one. But back then, you had to just keep turning that ring, and there was a little split optical thing in the viewfinder that made it look double, and when it got single, it was in focus. And you had to just keep doing that all night. Every time the guy moved, you had to focus again, focus again, focus again. And then I also had to wait for the lights to be right. Because when the lights are changing, the light meter in those cameras was going up and down and up and down. The light meter didn't know what to make of it, so I had to abandon it and just use the lens wide open, as they say, let as much light in as possible, but a shutter speed fast enough to not be blurry when the guy moves,
There's one photo, it looks like Eddie is looking right into your lens. Did you see that one?
Oh, that is a nice one. He's up on stage next to his brother there.
Yeah. I want to... we're pretty much out of time, but I want to thank you for sharing your album of photos with us.
No, thank you. I mean, let the photos go. They should be out there,
It's hashtag The Island Social Zone, brought to you by Obermiller Seamless, to see my brother, the other Franzman's album of photographs. It's, what we posted on the Islands page is just the Van Halen pictures, but you have numerous other bands. Can we find those through that same page?
Oh, yeah. I made that a featured album. It's called Bands I Photographed. It's a featured album on my Facebook page, which is just my name, Mike Franzman. I also have a Mike Franzman photography page, but really my normal page gets the most activity and use. So from there, you should be able to see the Van Halen photos and then others. Like I use digital now, so I shot Whitesnake last year. That was amazing. And, pre-virus, we were able to go to concerts elbow to elbow with people.
Yeah, we look forward to that next year maybe. But, hey, thanks again for the Van Halen talks, and thanks for all the concerts when we were kids. Thanks for sharing your pictures with us.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.